Chapter 1: The Importance of Literacy in Content Areas by Omar Guerrero. Today we're going to be looking at content literacy background and issues. It starts with the meaning of literacy, 4 aspects of literacy, disciplinary literacy, teacher resistance to content literacy, Common Core standards, and 6, seeing yourself as a teacher. Literacy used to be defined much differently back in the day. At one point in time, you were literate if you could sign your name. At another, you had to take a literacy test to decide if you could vote. Now, the literate are defined not simply as those who have attained a certain level of proficiency in language ability, but rather as those who are able to use written materials effectively in the environment in which they live and work. There are 4 aspects of literacy. Literacy is very complex, so the notion that literacy is a single state or set of skills is outdated. There are 4 diverse aspects of literacy: emergent, functional, workplace, and content literacy. These aspects are both interconnected and interdependent. The first aspect of literacy we are going to be looking at is emergent literacy. Emergent literacy used to be thought of as a child learning to read and write upon entry to a school. Now, research shows that emergent literacy starts at home with their parents and other caregivers. An example of this would be when the parent or caregiver is reading a book to a child. Some parents also start teaching them how to write. I remember my mother teaching me the ABCs before I was in pre-K. So the teachers now have to take the children at their individual points and help literacy continue to emerge. The second aspect of literacy we're going to be looking at is functional literacy. Functional literacy is the ability to use reading and writing to function adequately in one's environment. The way we use functional literacy is when we have to pay a bill or fill out a check. These are things that are around us and we have to do as a part of society. Another example I like is the ability to read instructions effectively, like about how much fertilizer to use on a tree and other things. The third aspect of literacy we're going to be looking at is workplace literacy. Workplace literacy is applying general learning strategies in a wide variety of situations. For example, people used to only need to type in a Word document to be an office worker. Now there are more complex programs like Excel that take a lot more time to master and to really know the program. And that is why today there is workplace literacy problems. Content literacy is the ability to use reading and writing for the acquisition of new content in a given discipline. There are 3 principal cognitive components: general literacy skills, prior knowledge of content, and content-specific literacy skills. Content literacy is used primarily for learning in whatever you are doing. Reading and writing are constructive processes in which information is organized and accommodated into memory structures. Disciplinary literacy. Disciplinary literacy is using content-specific literacy skills in a job or in education. Disciplinary literacy is centered on performance in job and education. For example, me being a music major, I need to know all the terms centered on music. And whenever I'm a teacher, I will need to be able to communicate effectively with my coworkers. Teacher resistance to content literacy. Content literacy strategies have been found to be very effective at increasing content learning. Yet, many teachers refuse to use them because of a number of reasons. One of these reasons is that teachers do not believe they have time in their lesson to fix reading problems. Also, part of the problem is because they have high stakes tests, and like let's say history teachers don't believe they have enough time to teach and correct their problems. In a vast majority of the states, there was a release of the Common Core standards. Common Core standards will lead to teacher evaluation based on the student's attainment of those standards. For example, Common Core reading standards for informational text in grades 6 12 are shown in our textbook. Seeing yourself as a teacher. Undergraduates are stuck in between seeing themselves as teachers or students. Since we are not teachers yet but are preparing to be, we can see both sides when teaching a lesson.